Hello again, everybody. It's Ask the Knight. 3 questions, 3 answers. Let's get to it. And our first... I believe this is either the first time in a while that this user has asked me a question. This is the first time ever. Win the Rogue. Thank you very much. Great video, and the new green screen program is a nice touch. Thank you very much. I was looking to see if people liked it. In terms of questions, if you haven't answered this one, what are your thoughts on Channing Tatum, being cast as Gambit in the future X-Men films? I think it's a great casting choice. Channing Tatum is a very capable actor. I enjoyed his role in G.I. Joe. I enjoyed his role as the jock boarding school classmate of, I think it's Amanda Bynes from She's the Man. I found him to be quite likeable, even though he was being a bit of a douche in that one. But he's got this very kind of, roguish, but hidden side that some actors can actually pull off. So him as Gambit, that's a very good choice. I look forward to seeing that in future X films. The Code 92. Hello, buddy. If the Spider-Man movies, X-Men movies, and Fantastic Four movies were sold back to Marvel Disney, how would you fit them in the Marvel Cinematic Universe without rebooting their movies? This is actually a very sound and decent question, on the grounds of we don't need to go through yet another reboot. I think the way the Spider-Man franchise as it stands is, we have our perfect Spider-Man, we have our perfect Peter Parker. Andrew Garfield is the Spider-Man. Now, I know there's going to be some T. Maguire fans out there that love and praise what he did with the Sam Raimi trilogy, and so they should, because as the shy, very reclusive Peter Parker, he's a good choice. As Spider-Man, not so much. But yeah, Andrew Garfield, that incarnation of Spider-Man, in my opinion only, is the best, because he is Spider-Man. He's got the wittiness, he's got the snarkiness, he's got the sarcasm. Something the last series was lacking. I think the way the X-Men series is standing, to bring Wolverine as he is now, with the Hugh Jackman portrayal, I think that'd be good to bring him in. How they would actually go about integrating those storylines and actually make it fit so that it's canon without them sort of saying, oh, I've never heard of you before. If it's done in a way whereby they said they had their own agendas, or they don't interfere in other people's businesses, or they only bring people in to the corresponding movies without ticking each other off, I think that'd be a good way to go. Personally, I think it's overdue for Spider-Man to join the Avengers, and from what I understand, and this is pure speculation, I don't know where Random DCE got this little tidbit, and as such treat it as speculation until otherwise told, but the word is Sony are not doing so well financially. Again, I don't know this for fact, so do not quote me on this, but word is Marvel and Disney are willing to fund the next Amazing Spider-Man, but there's a catch. The trade-off deal is that Spidey would show up in Avengers 3. And if that's the case, I like it. But yeah, that's how I would do the integration of the movies without having to reboot anything. It's just to have this sort of a territorial thing. It's like, look, we know that you were handling your business, you didn't butt into ours, so we stayed out of your way. If that's not to everyone's taste, then fair enough, I can't please everyone. And what are your thoughts on David Goyer's recent outbursts on scriptlets? Oh, I've been waiting to have a crack at this. Right, Now, first of all, professionally, I think David Goyer's a reasonable, competent scriptwriter for movies. I mean, he did a decent job with Batman Begins and The Dark Knight. Dark Knight Rises I'm kind of iffy on. But his recent dig at Martian Manhunter and the way that She-Hulk was brought in, suggesting that She-Hulk was nothing more than a glorified porn star that only the Hulk would like to have relations with. Okay, first of all, allow me to break this apart. She-Hulk is the Hulk's cousin. You know, I don't need to go any further with that. If I had to break that down any further, I'd be getting Oni to explain it, and he'd rather not go into that kind of territory, if you get my meaning. And second of all, he goes off onto saying how goofy Martian Manhunter is, and then goes, are there any Martian Manhunter fans here? And then of course the audience goes, yeah, how many of you got laid? It's like, really, dude? Really? In terms of professional conduct, I think it's very unbecoming for a man of Goyer's caliber and, how should I say this, public profile to be able to say that. I mean, he shames comic book nerds, yet he's worked on 3 Batman movies, 1 Superman movie, and now he's working on a Batman Superman movie and a Justice League movie. I think, you know, pot meeting kettle doesn't quite cut it here. But aside from that minor rant there, you know, we're almost creeping back into MJ Knight branch. No, we don't want to go back there. I honestly think it's, as I say, it's very unbecoming of him as a writer and as a producer, because, you know, you have to remove yourself from a situation like that. You have to be able to be objective and be diplomatic and neutral. Considering he might be working with the Martian Manhunter character in the Justice League movie, yeah, some humble pie is going to be eaten. Like I say, I don't like the way that they, you know, basically just ran the Manhunter character into the ground, and, you know, Marvel responded in kind to, you know, what he said about She-Hulk, and Stan Lee, who created her in 1980 purely as a female counterpart to the Hulk, he always liked the idea of a female version of the Hulk, but kept her intelligence and her personality. And of course, in the various incarnations of She-Hulk, she's able to transform at will. She's in the 96 animated series, she stays in that form, aside from a few episodes where she's just overloaded and overworked and whatnot. And I don't know, there's just something about the way that all went down, it just doesn't sit right with me. And the way that the current She-Hulk writer responded in kind by saying, you know, don't outrage, go to outreach, you know, put the negativity down, bring in the positivity. He's basically saying, pay no attention to him. You know, he doesn't understand the dynamics and the reason of why the character was created, so therefore he has no right. He has no right to stand on that position, and I agree. Well, those have been your 3 questions for this episode. You know the usual shtick by now. Send a question to one of the social media links in the outro. Leave a question in the comment section below, or heck, come to the new forum. Leave a question there. We'd feel great to have you there. Until then, ask again.